This is the first time for them running the cameras, so thanks for being here. Yeah.
You can make this look good. Good evening and welcome to Monday, August 18th, regular meeting of the Granville Exempted Village School District. I'm calling this meeting to order. Will you please join me in a pledge of allegiance? Thomas, would you like to lead us?
Indeed. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Could you please take the roll?
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
Ms. Shaw? Here. Ms. Hicks?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
And Mr. Funk is not here this time.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Anything to add, Mr. Brown, to the
No,
agenda?
the agenda is fine as is.
Okay. Could you take the roll, please?
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye. At this point, we'd like to enter into executive session. And we will come back out and there will be action following executive session.
So we make a motion?
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we're going in to consider the employment of a public employee or official. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
We have an estimate about how long?
It will be 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We
We're gonna
understand
hold you
people have
to
things
that.
to do.
You ready for staff updates?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the first reason that I'd like to share with you why we're in executive session, usually it's strange to come out of executive session and talk about it, but I've notified the board multiple times that I am going to be submitting for retirement at the end of this year. However, have had conversations that my intent, I don't feel like I'm done. I would love to continue my tenure in Granville. It's been 15 great years, and I'd love for it to continue. But Lisa Ormond, the middle school principal, and I are both going to go through the process of retiring and rehiring. So there is a legal process that we have to follow that is written in Ohio Revised Code. And so this announcement will start the timelines, and there will be an October public hearing related to our employment, and then a November decision, but all that takes place at the end of this year anyway. So the contracts will be of varying lengths, but that will happen in October and November. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that. Tonight, I've notified the building leadership teams, and I've notified the staff of what's happening, and then I'll send a message to all parents tonight as well. Hopefully they read the message, because I had a lot of people very nervous that I was retiring in totality, kind of like Melanie's initial expression. But my intent is to continue to serve Granville's community for the foreseeable future. So I'm excited to go through that process. So anything else that you want to say, or you're going to say that at board discussion? So
Yeah.
okay. Let's talk a little bit about the start of the year update. So we started the year with the convocation last Thursday, and we shared that a lot of the theme for this year is going to be centered around the notion of trying to engage students as being explorers, students and staff. And if you look at the four modes of engagement from Anderson and Winthrop's disengaged team, you have several different, on the x-axis you have engagement, on the y-axis you have agency, but you can look at the different modes of engagement, the resistor, the passenger, the achiever, and all of those have either high or low engagement, but really we have a lot of achievers in our school district, and that doesn't sound bad, but really as students transition to middle school and high school, we really want them to be explorers when they're driven by internal curiosity rather than external expectations. And they investigate questions that they care about, and they want to pursue their goals. That's really that notion of having the autonomy and the agency to really drive their education. So we talked a lot about that at the convocation, so I just wanted everyone on the board to understand kind of what our theme is for the year, and it's go into it with an explorer mentality, kind of like that continuous improvement mentality, but now we're trying to cultivate that explorer mentality. And I continue to use that phrase, all the responsibility and no control or autonomy leads to toxic stress and a lack of agency, and that's not healthy for any of our students, but really giving them the autonomy and the agency to direct their learning has both the academic benefit and the social and emotional well-being aspect to it as well. Also, we hired a lot of new faces in the organization, a lot of staff at the elementary and intermediate, less at the middle school and high school, but we have gone through new teacher orientation. Over the last 3 days, they've gone through professional development, learning the mission, vision, values of our organization, and really how we go about doing the work of educating the students of Granville. And we do some things differently, and it's important to make sure that we build capacity of our new staff to understand how just want to bring up our facility master plan roadmap again. This is again the approach of the fork in the road, so to speak, whether we grow slowly or more rapidly, and just socializing this map based on the work of the Strategic Planning Task Force, the master planning process, and kind of the options that we have. And again, if we grow slowly, we'll work through that process and add students incrementally. If we experience rapid growth because of a large subdivision that comes into the district, we'll actually have to take that fork in the road and take a little bit of a different approach to the elementary design versus grade bands that we currently have. So again, that was surfaced or shared in the May and June board meetings, but I just want to make sure that we continue to socialize that as we enter into the 25-26 school year. We had several major projects, and I expect Mr. Lofton to do a full presentation in the September board meeting. But the water line extension to GIS, almost all of the pipe is laid and terminated. We are waiting on the meter to be placed, and that is on back order. So we're just waiting. It's hard to procure some of the features of the water line because we have a lot of competing interests in Lincoln County specifically. So we're waiting on that, but you will see on the agenda that we have a water contract on for approval with the village. And I will talk a little bit more specifically about the elements of that contract and why it's beneficial to us and how it's been developed collaboratively with the village of Granville. We're excited to move forward with that redundant water system. Playground resurfacing is slightly delayed, but we're working more every day to try and get it across the finish line. It will probably be done Monday, not Wednesday. We were hoping that it would be finished before school, but we are waiting on the subsurface to come in. But a lot of the pour and play elements are finished. So we replaced the lights at the athletic complex with LED. We replaced scoreboards, thank you to the athletic boosters, and we did the culvert replacements at GHS so that you don't need a 4x4 to get through that driveway. It still has quite a pitch, but not quite enough to bottom out your vehicle. So, we've done a lot of work over the summer. There's a lot of other projects that I didn't mention, but it's, to start the school year, that is our time frame. Our summer time frame is for the time that we try and get the majority of our projects completed. And then the only other thing that I wanted to just bring to your attention is from a policy update. We did send out our annual notification to parents about their Bill of Rights. Talks a little bit about the services that we provide and the process that parents need to go through if they want to exercise their right to opt out of anything that we're doing related to sexuality content and at certain grade levels. And we have been building capacity of the staff over the last couple of days to understand the nuances of that legislation. And then finally, if you haven't heard, I have personal communication device policy. As you know, in House Bill 96, the General Assembly codified the cell phone ban through that legislation. And so we've developed handbook language, and we had to make a slight tweak to that because the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce changed their definition of instructional day to include meal periods where we had a carve out for that. We communicated that change last week, and now basically from bell to bell, the personal communication devices will be away. Students will be able to access them in an emergency. We use a pocket system, especially 712, but other than that, we're going to be making sure that they're device free throughout the day. So, any questions that you might have? I will transition to Kim Pulley, our Assistant Treasurer, to give the monthly financial report. And as you know, our treasurer is on maternity leave, so thank you, Kim, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Okay, so the first slide is the cash balance comparison between July of 2025 versus July of 2024. You can see that our numbers are less than they were in 2024. That's primarily due to the large transfer that was made at the end of fiscal year 25. Nothing to be alarmed about there. July revenue is up, and it's up primarily because we had a larger than expected second half advance from the county on property taxes, and our income tax was higher. Both of those could be timing issues, especially the property tax. We'll know more at the end of this month. The income tax, this is the largest one we get because it includes vehicle collections. So there could be some timing things in there as well, but we'll know more the further we get into the year. July expenditures are also up over last year, primarily due to the increase in our salary schedule. Also, during 2024, we did not pay our custodial vendor. They didn't submit an invoice at the end of the month. The current vendor submits in the middle of the month, so there's about $200,000 custodial bill in 2025 that did not exist in 2024. So of the $450,000, about $200,000 of it is just a timing issue there with custodial. This is the cash flow and forecast projections. Again, the revenues are running high due to that property tax. And again, we'll know more this month. And the expenditures are running a little higher, again, due to the steps and salary increases. Currently, we are running ahead of our forecast, again, primarily due to those two increases in revenue. Capital projects fund, the air handlers at the high school and the boiler at the high school, those projects are almost finished. Probably next month you'll see both of those pretty much gone. And we still are showing about a $7 million set aside for future projects. This is our cash reconciliation for the end of July. And then our year-end cash balance for June 30th, 2025, we ended with $11,226 in the general fund or forecast funds, which equates to about 110 days of operating cash, which is within our policy of about 90 and less than 160. And then the last thing in here, annually, the Ohio Revised Code requires us to report on commercial paper activity that we have, any interest earned, and any sales and purchases of that commercial paper. So this is just everything that was activity throughout fiscal year 25.
Do you know what rates these are going to relate to in general for the cash that we're receiving, or is there a general?
It varies, but since they are short-term debt, they're usually not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than other options, they've done quite well for us.
Certainly. Does anyone have any other questions? Thank you.
Great,
Thank you. That's why we're internationally award-winning treasurers department.
Appreciate all you do.
We're at the point of the meeting for public comments. If anyone would like to address the board,
That's me.
come on up.
I did
Please
not get
share your
the
name
right
and address.
No. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Krista Dalton, and I just come with one request, that the Granville School administrators consult an interfaith calendar when planning major school events. So my son Ellis is starting second grade this week, and for 3 years now, our Jewish family has faced uncomfortable situations in the school district. This year, School Picture Day was scheduled on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, one of our two most sacred holidays. Traditionally, Jews do not work or attend school, and instead they're spending the day at religious services. Last year, Spirit Week coincided with Rosh Hashanah, causing my son to miss 2 days of what is to him
a very exciting opportunity to dress up at school. So what may seem like really minor scheduling conflicts, there are picture day makeups. It's just a few missed dress-up days, but it really communicates to a child who already feels different, that they're not really welcome. This message was reinforced just last December when my son asked his music teacher if they could sing a Hanukkah song and was initially told no. This happened despite weeks spent singing Christmas songs, a holiday we don't celebrate, making Christmas ornaments, and we don't have a tree. The tone schools set regarding Jewish students is crucial. Anti-Semitic incidents are increasing across the country. I'm a religious studies professor at Kenyon College, and I hear disturbing accounts from my own students about their experiences in high school and middle school. And Granville's not immune. When my son was in kindergarten, a classmate told him he was going to hell because he was Jewish. And it's really hard to be a parent of a young kid and try and explain why this is happening. Another friend, a parent in our community whose son went through all of Granville schools, repeatedly faced accusations from classmates of murdering Jesus. And so the argument might be raised that to take Jewish holidays into account would open the door to other major religious holidays. And as a parent and professor of religious studies, I say it should. Educational institutions should recognize and respect the major holidays of its students because it creates an equitable environment where all students feel included and signals that they deserve respect from their peers. School districts already account for Christian holidays in their calendars, so extending this consideration to other faiths teaches valuable lessons about respect, different viewpoints, and the importance of religious freedom in our democracy. My daughter starts kindergarten next year, and my hope is that she won't feel the same kind of icky feelings my son has felt. This change would directly impact my kids as they grow up in Granville schools. We're really happy here, we want to stay here forever. But it would also help other students and employees.
Sorry.
Hey, it's all good. My students do it all the time.
You're doing a terrible job.
No, it's good. But all I would say is it would just make everyone feel like they're part of the community. It doesn't take a lot of time to look at a calendar, but it would really make a big difference, I think, for students and employees. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And now I leave, right?
Yes.
Because my daughter's bedtime is soon, so I'm going to say thank you.
You have to stay for the whole.
Okay.
There are no hostages here.
Very
And
good.
if you need me, I can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're at board discussion. I guess we can start off talking about,
Myself and Ms. Sorma.
yes.
Yes.
Let me just say, we're just kind of starting this process, and it feels a little kind of legalese because it is legalese, right? But I guess for myself as a board member, I'm just really happy that we have such dedicated administrators that they're willing to continue to spend a lot of their career here. You know, Mr. Brown and Mrs. Ormond's tenure both have been long and very successful. It's quite a process to go through, and I think an important one because it gives us the opportunity for community feedback. And I'm very confident that we'll have positive feedback, but that's something that, I certainly welcome, is your thoughts and anyone's thoughts on this process as we go forward. But as I look at it, it's, unquestionably a great opportunity for Granville to have consistency in leadership that's so important. And so, it'll be a process to go through, and we'll have other votes and other things that we have to approve. But for myself, I'm very thankful for both those administrators' continued dedication to the district. Thank you.
Anything else from any other members?
I mean, I just was thinking about in Mr. Brown's State of the Union, it wasn't called that. Start of the year update.
Yes.
He's talking about the facility master plan and just thinking about how much work he's put into that with our community, with our administration, with us. It's really nice to be able to think of the next whatever many years, to see him continue to do that and to bridge those alliances with so many stakeholders for those things.
And I'd just like to add, Ms. Deeds brought it up, but there was a change in the retirement system that has us addressing it now as opposed to what I think most of us thought would be a few years down the road. So, but I'm very happy that we can look at this and do this. I think we're at a critical point in our schools. Regardless of what happens, I think we're at a critical spot, and your continued leadership and commitment to our kids and community is really vital and important. So, you know, we'll abide by the process and go through it, but anyone that has any feedback, please feel free to come to the meetings or let us know.
Yeah, because this is not starting
Right.
until his actual retirement won't be starting until 26, 27, so.
Correct.
Plenty.
And that's when my current 5-year contract was going to terminate anyway, so there was going to have to be a decision, an employment decision either way. It just kind of accelerates it. I would just say that when I interviewed here almost 15 years ago, I made the comment, as long as you're happy and I'm happy, we're going to have a very long relationship. Didn't know that that would be 15 years, but I'm hoping it's 20. And I'm still having a ton of fun doing what I'm doing. And I know I speak for Ms. Storman, who would have been here if she didn't have open house tonight. So, because that's why Mr. Stewart's not here as well. But, you know, she feels the same exact way, and I love what we do in Granville schools, but more importantly, I love the way that we do what we do in Granville schools, and that's put kids at the center of all of our decisions and really think strategically about how to meet their needs on an annual basis, and that's a testament to our administration, our staff, and all of the people that are within our organization, including the Board of Education. So looking forward to hopefully a longer relationship.
I just have one comment about the device policy.
Oh dear.
This is coming from the state. I want
Yeah.
parents, people in the community to understand we're following as directed.
The law.
It's the law. So be nice to the administrators about this. And if you're really concerned about it, you should talk to your state legislators. So I felt that was important to say.
And with that policy, we've been looking into this for the past year with a lot of input from staff and students and things like that. So it's given me a lot of chance to talk mostly to students, right, about their perspective on what it's like to have cell phones in the school, or how kids sneak them out, or when they do, and all those kinds of things. And I've got some really good feedback. And I guess, to summarize, those maybe older students that are in their later years of high school and things like that really appreciate the value of having things put away and connecting individually. And I think that this is an opportunity to help those younger ones who might struggle with the decision that they think is being put on them by the state or whatever, kind of settle into a mode, right, where they can live without it, you know, for a period of time. And we all need to learn to be with them and without them sometimes, right? And they're always with us, and they're great tools and so forth. But, you know, the purpose of education happens in the classroom, and that's kind of what's being driven here. So I'm not entirely opposed. I know there'll be, I would guess, more challenges from parents who have concerns about reaching children than maybe even the students themselves, right? And those are valid concerns that you need to kind of talk to your, you know, school administrators with if there's a specific case that requires, you know, alternate consideration. But, you know, we will continue to do our best to keep the kids safe and educated, right, within the guidelines that are being given to us. So that's my kind of perspective on it. And it's starting in a couple of days.
Wednesday.
That's right.
Okay.
I'd like to reflect on one more. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to transition from device, though. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just, I really appreciated Ms. Dalton's comments. I think, I don't really want to say homogeneous, but I do think it's important for us to hear from parents about their personal experience, about, you know, I do believe we're in a homogeneous environment, and so it is nice to hear, not nice, it's good to hear from families. Important to hear from families that are having an experience that, yeah, thank you. Thanks.
And duly noted.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to take one quick minute to reflect on the beginning of the school year. I wish that everybody could attend convocation. Right? And it's kind of a first day of work back for the teachers and things like that and so forth, which is always challenging after a wonderful summer off, right? But it's one that I really look forward to because it starts very student-centric, right? We have the marching band and the strings and the choir come in, and it really inspires me as a board member, right? And I think the whole staff to get excited about it. And I think it just reflects this kind of magical time of year when people want to get engaged and people are excited about school. So I wish you'd been there to be so excited as I am, but there's also lots of other good ways to do it. You know, I mean, if you're excited about schools, sign up for some, time at the concession stands. If you're excited about schools, talk about how ways you can get engaged in the schools and things like that, because that would make this community work. So that was a really great session. Thank you. And the whole concept that our academic year centers around from a curricular perspective of moving from sort of disengaged through achiever, which is where many of our students are, to truly being explorers, is a great initiative, right? And there's a lot of nuance in those definitions of differences, but there are things that we could not be thinking about structurally doing without the groundwork that's happened for the last years, through project-based learning, and through the other initiatives that we've had, really taking our students to a point where they're personally engaged in their own education to truly learn for life, right? It's going to make a world of difference both in their quality of education and their mental health and their outcome overall. So thanks for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results as always. Yeah.
We're going to be Sam's.
Yeah.
And have some fun.
Yep.
All right.
Action agenda.
Okay. Item 6.01 is the approval of the student handbooks for 25-26 school year.
So moved. Second.
We approved them once already. This is the reapproval based on the new guidance that we have been given.
Do we expect any more?
Uh,
I'm just curious.
You know what? There's always a possibility. I guarantee you there will be more changes coming.
Yeah.
It's just what?
Okay. Take the roll.
And there are a lot of changes, right, that are state legislation-driven changes, right? Not just the cell phone policy, but other things relative to, notification of parents and ability of, families to be engaged with the curriculum in a different way. So they're long, tricky documents and things like that, but there's a lot in there that will really affect the day-to-day lives of students and staff especially, right? In terms of, again, these notification requirements and so forth that we need to be cautious that are communicated appropriately. I know all the students sign off of them at the upper levels, but there's a lot in there, and keep in touch with your teachers and the districts if you have questions. Okay.
Take the roll, please.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is 6.02, approval of the staff handbooks for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Again, all the changes were related to legislation.
Take the roll, please.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
6.03 is the approval of the job description for technology integration coordinator.
So moved.
Second.
As you'll see later on the agenda, we have our interim technology director and interim applications coordinator in the back room right now. But we've had some vacancies as people have transitioned to other positions. So this is an approval of a job description that will meet the needs for us, not only potentially moving forward, but in the interim.
Good. Take the roll, please.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Next item, 6.04, is the approval of a 2025 graduate.
So moved.
Second.
This person has completed their tenure in Granville, and we're happy to issue them a diploma.
Take the roll, please.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Okay, next is 6.05, the approval of bus routes for the 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second.
So most of the routes are similar, but we do have some construction happening around town. So we've had to make some adjustments in some of the routes, but Mr. Carpenter and the bus drivers have been practicing them on a regular basis over the last several days. And we're confident that we have the number of bus drivers that we need, and there will be some changes to who's driving those different routes, but that's part of the bid process. But in general, the routes have stayed the same, except for the nuances with the construction pattern.
And how many buses or how many routes are there?
We have roughly 24 routes. I mean, we have other routes to C-Tech and other things like that, but generally Granville routes.
Take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Okay, next item, 6.06, is the approval of the ZHF Consulting Engagement Letter.
So moved.
Second. So this is the lobbying letter for Dan Dodd. We approved a one-year contract last year. He's been very helpful in advocating our position at the State House related to growth and annexation, and we're hoping to continue that relationship and that communication with the General Assembly next year, and appreciate Dan's guidance in that process.
It's been very valuable.
Yeah, I really think he's done an outstanding job of opening some doors and making sure that we had a place at the table. So I think it's really been a boon for us.
To the point where several of my high school friends sent me a copy of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, where Granville was mentioned up there just this past weekend, related to property tax and annexation.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Take the roll, please.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Approval of addendum contract to the AVI contract?
So moved. Second.
Amy.
Motion?
Cecile and Amy, yeah. All right, so we generally approve a 5-year contract with AVI, and then we update it annually based on where we're at in that contract sequence and the pricing structure. So AVI continues to be a great provider, third-party provider for us, and we appreciate how Chef Dave, Chef Adam, Chef Patrick integrate into our environment and really become part of Granville staff, which is fantastic. That's exactly what you want from a third-party provider, so we're happy to continue that relationship.
Take the roll, please.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
6.8 is the approval of the water service agreement with Granville Village.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so let me kind of explain how this all works. So as we extended the water line, there is a portion of that water line that is public, and then there's the private portion that once we get onto this intermediate school, from the road all the way to the building is private. We own that. We built the public side, and we will donate that to the village. They'll accept that donation, and that water line they will then own. As part of the process of going through that extension, they are willing to waive the tap fees, which are significant for a tap of that size. And typically, anything outside of their service area is charged a 30% premium, which they are waiving. So we will be paying in-village rates. And the last part of that is, obviously, we've been having a lot of conversation about water in Granville and related to the Intel project. We are embedded into that agreement is the ability for them to use our well system to test the water and the viability of a different aquifer. So they'll have the ability to survey and look at water availability for future use for Granville as in total through our private water system that is currently on premise. So in general, it's a great deal. It's mutually beneficial. We now have, will have Granville water and not rely on a well system, and they do all the testing and quality control at that point. So we're excited to bring that project to fruition. We anticipate that will be, several weeks still until we get that meter in. And then we do some testing of the water, and then we'll make that switch.
I appreciate the village's continuing support and their passion around water resources as we start to grow, just to think about those things, and if we can be of any service, I'm happy to, so, thank you.
Please take the roll.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to the consent agenda, which is 7.01 to 7.15.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, couple of things that I will call your attention to. We have our standard items of, the consent agenda. We have a late first grade hire based on a teacher leaving because of a move. We have a couple of aides that we've added in. We have a laundry list of supplementals. We have the kindergarten bus route drivers, which is bid separately than the typical routes. And, we have a couple of the resignations that I would say with appreciation of service. Jessica Mangum. Jessica has been here for a very long time, excellent first grade teacher. We wish her all the best as she transitions up to Michigan. Alyssa Baker, who is the technology integration specialist, we wish her well. And then 2 bus drivers, Jefferson Burkett, who has come in and out of the organization at different times. We appreciate him filling in for us, and then the bus driver, Michael DeRoki. So excited for all the new people in our organization. We also have the administrative contracts for the interim technology director and interim systems administrator that I mentioned earlier. So excited to have all those things buttoned up in the consent agenda. Any questions?
Take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye. Financials.
Okay, so we have, do you want me to go ahead and keep rolling? Okay. The financial agenda, 8.01, then and now resolutions.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we try and keep those to a minimum. Sometimes some of our rollover subscriptions and some of our standard purchases get ahead of the PO process, so we have a laundry list there, but we will continue to work to get that timing aligned with the sequence that aligns with the auditor's office and the treasurer's practices. So you have the list there.
Can I ask a question? Just what is Boundless Behavioral Health?
So Boundless is just like TLS. It's another provider for special education services.
Thank you. Take the roll, please.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Take the roll, please.
It was Amy and Cecile.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ms. Deeds?
Aye.
Ms. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Wolf?
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Good meeting.
Aye.